What's up, guys? Welcome back to Michigan Muckraker. My name's Michelle. Today is May 16th of 2023, and I wanted to share a few things to catch you up on Gotion today. Usually I do it on Mondays, but I did a tour of the No Recycling Center yesterday morning, so I had to push this video back, but I wanted to share good news. The No Recycling Center is actually not going to be a pyrolysis recycling plant. So they were looking at it to be so, but the 42,000 square foot facility actually, the way it's designed inside, is not an ideal fit for a pyrolysis machine, or a reactor rather. So I have details on that tour I'm going to share with you in another video, but I wanted to share that good news. We can stand down. It's not going to be pyrolysis. It's just going to be a mechanical recycling center. And it doesn't smell, and so again, I'll have all the details for you, but good news. Now last week, Tuesday, was the Green Charter Township board meeting, and Chuck Thelen and I think Messer from MEDC were there. I heard that a lot of people left feeling defeated, as if it's a done deal and it doesn't matter what we say or do, that they're going to do what they want. And I want you to shake that feeling off. That is what they want you to feel. They want you to be apathetic. They want you to go back to legacy media or whatever. They want you to stop looking at them and stop trying to hold them accountable. And so we need to do the opposite. We need to share with more people. We need to make flyers. We need to keep looking at them. Quick story. When I was about 9 or 10, my nephew was 2 or 3, and he, for some reason, said one day, "Don't look at me. Stop looking at me," when he was eating. And me, being the annoying kind of big sister at that time, I stared at him. And that is exactly what we need to do to these people, the board members, Chuck Thelen, all the key players of Gotion, and MEDC especially. We need to stare at them, and we need to have thousands of people stare at them, hold them accountable. We need to fight off apathy and defeat, and we need to continue the fight because it is not over. We have environmental lawyers that are working on, getting the environmental report that we should have. And so I just wanted to say that. Don't let them win. Okay? They want you and I to feel like it's over, but it's not. Now, I'm going to get in. I have a few things that I want to share. First, today at 1:30, there is a finance committee meeting at Mecosta County. Let me see if I can get the information where it's at. It's blocked. I don't know why. Okay. So there's a finance committee meeting and there's a park board meeting at 5 p.m. If you have an opportunity to go to either of these meetings, we need to hold our government accountable. We need to see what they're doing with our money. So please, if you can, if you're close, so you can make those meetings, do. And then 10:30 on the 18th, which is this Thursday, building and zoning meeting in person. As you can see, there's not very many virtual. And then EMS committee meeting, 1:30 in person, and then a board of commissioner meeting, which is virtual and in person, 3 p.m. I'm going to try again to record them to be at this virtual meeting. But last time the sound didn't work. I don't know if it was on my end or their end. I haven't had any confirmation. But if you can make any of these meetings, please do. The Michigan Economic Development Corporation meeting is Tuesday, May 23rd. Meeting time, we'll have to look out for that because they could change it. But I think it's going to be 12:30. So we'll look out for that one. Again, Tuesday, May 23rd. And then lastly, we need to remember that the Green Charter Township is going to have a planning commission established. It's effective June 17th. So we need to watch out for the meetings that will pop up after June 17th when this ordinance is effective. All right. Got all the meetings out of the way. I'm going to jump into this, Somebody shared this with me, and I'm going to share it with you. Steve Gruber. Uh-oh. Sound. There we go. Let's get this right.
Thank you for having
For some reason, I can't hear it, but hopefully you can hear it.
me. So the new federal state of China is also known as the Chinese whistleblower movement. So what we did and have been doing is to expose the CCP's collusion with the global elites and the American sellout.
Yeah, and we're going to start in my home state of Michigan. We've had a lot of conversations about battery factories and chip factories and all sorts of high-tech places as big as 5 million square feet covering 1,500, 2,000 acres of farmland, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But you say there's a very cozy relationship between the CCP and the governor and others here in Michigan. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so the CCP.
Sorry, guys. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can fix this for myself.
He has been spending a lot of time and resources developing a cozy relationship with the Michigan State representative. And so I saw in the CCP's propaganda website, the CCP's Consul General in Chicago, Zhao Jian, actually developed a very cozy relationship with your governor, Gretchen Whitmer, and the mayors of Detroit and the mayor of Lansing, and also the head of the Michigan Department of Agriculture. So they're not just trying to build a battery plant in Grand Rapids, they're also eyeing on the great state of Michigan's agricultural business. For example, they developed a relationship with the Michigan Corn Growers Business and Dairy Farmers Association and Soybean Association. So I think this sends a very alarming call to the people in Michigan that the CCP is going after your abundant natural resources.
Corn, beans,
soybean,
dairy.
Yes,
any agricultural product of value to China, they're trying to get as much control of as possible, is what you're telling me.
Exactly. So if the state of Michigan is going to surrender the entire food supply chain to the hands of the CCP, that's exactly what we're going to see in the coming years. So battery plant is just the very beginning.
Hey, Nicole, good to have you back.
So there you have it. Some of us have been aware of this food. You know, this is 5th generation warfare, guys. It's not going to be nuclear bombs, okay? It's going to be bioweapons. It's going to be economic destruction. It's going to be controlling our food supply, okay? We don't need to do it like we used to. They don't want, they being the central planners, don't want to destroy what they want, right? They want to have all of it for themselves. So nukes destroy everything. They just want us to suffer. And so food, unfortunately, is a way to do that. So we need to be aware that there is something bigger going on and that our farmland is at stake here and our food is at stake, which, again, everything besides food, water, and shelter is a luxury. So I think, let me see really quick, it says, should the United States outlaw any future CCP land purchases? Again, I don't care if it's CCP or anybody. Why are we selling our land to other countries? Jumping into this from last week's Green Township board meeting, obviously we see here WZZM 13 is interviewing. This is Chuck Thelen, and this is only 17 seconds, so I'm just going to show what the wife of a township board member tried to do, or, you know, put hands on. Oh, sound again. Put hands on somebody that's against Gotion.
Yes. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Why? Because it's what we feel. It's our choice.
Yeah, you saw that right there. Maybe it'll...
You can do that. You can do that.
It's our choice.
We'll bring it back.
Why?
Say one more time.
Because it's what we feel.
Look at that. That right there is Jim Peake's wife putting hands on somebody who is against Gotion and is peacefully, it has a sign, maybe in the shot, that's what it looks like, but that is her right. They are in a public place, and she has no right to touch her whatsoever. Now, I think she reported it. I hope she did. Technically, you could say it's assault. I don't know if she's going to go down that road, but at least it needs to be known. You don't do this, okay? We can have different opinions. You don't touch somebody else. You don't do that. And to me, in my experience, the most aggressive people in this whole situation are the pro-Gotion people. Even on Ask Big Rapids, they were the ones that were aggressive on there, and they would name call and all of that. They were, again, aggressive. So this isn't right. Don't do it. We can disagree, and she has every right to put that sign up. Big Rapids Pioneer newspaper owns property CCP Gotion, intended to buy for battery plant project. When I saw this, I wasn't surprised because Big Rapids Pioneer is extremely biased towards pro-Gotion. By the way, thank you guys so much for joining me today. If you like this kind of content, smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Jumping into this, Hearst Newspapers, which is Big Rapids Pioneer, owned 7.52 acres that could be worth millions. Now, this was in the big Prairie Township, so I do not think that they're selling anymore, but we're going to get into this article. The Big Rapids Pioneer, a newspaper owned by Hearst Newspapers with a circulation of 2,350, owns a key piece of property Chinese battery maker Gotion High-Tech had as a part of its original site plan. The Mecosta County GIS shows the 7.52 acre property that currently contains the Pioneer's operation. I don't think I can zoom in. CCP Gotion intended to build a 3 million square foot facility on both sides of 18 Mile Road east of US 131 in both Green Charter Township and Big Rapids Charter Township, according to an initial site plan drawing dated September 21st, 2022. The red arrow points to the would-be building CCP Gotion would build in Big Rapids Charter Township, where the Pioneer's operation currently sits. After Big Rapids Charter Township leaders began asking more questions and saw a federal national security review of the company that has documented ties to the CCP, Gotion altered its plans to build only in Green Charter Township. Mecosta County property records show Jernstadt has a 72-acre parcel at the corner of 18 Mile Road and 220th Avenue in Green Charter Township, across the street from the newspaper's parcel. He obtained a mortgage on the property in 2012 for $180,000. During a September 16, 2022 special meeting held by Green Charter Township, Big Rapids Charter Township, and Mecosta County Board of Commissioners, a motion was made to allow Jernstadt to abstain from votes related to the CCP Gotion project due to a conflict of interest in ownership of the property in the area proposed in the Renaissance Zone, which overlaps both townships. Jernstadt voted in favor of the motion, meeting minutes show. Jernstadt did not respond to repeated email and phone calls, of course not. Specifically, we wanted to know when Jernstadt first learned of the potential CCP Gotion project. We also wanted to know when he decided to sell his property to Gotion and for what price. Right, because Green Township knew before the public did. And again, Jim Chapman just bragged. He didn't have to sign an NDA. They trusted him to keep his mouth shut. That's how he works for the people, right? That shows a lot about Jim Chapman, does it not? Sources have previously told the Midwesterner properties intended for the project are being put under contract for significantly more than they are worth. One owner, who has over 175 acres, is allegedly being paid $15 million. That's taxpayer dollars. We're paying $15 million to this person to sell the land to Gotion. It just drives me crazy. 700 million taxpayer dollars go to bribe a company to buy our land. And plus 15 million, this is just one person. Another with 72 acres is allegedly being paid $20 million. I mean, I heard $95,000 per acre. That's crazy. A draft purchase agreement reviewed by the Midwesterners said CCP Gotion will purchase the property is expressly contingent on the ultimate end user of the premises receiving any and all required municipal governmental agency approvals, all internal corporate approvals, and also an acceptable incentive package from the state of Michigan to locate and operate its business on the premises. Sources tell the Midwesterner property owners are being required to sign lengthy non-disclosure agreements with CCP with strict penalties for non-compliance. I understand why people don't want to break the NDA. I mean, obviously, I don't know what the penalties are, but I wish somebody would have the courage to break it and let us know what the agreements were, what the penalties, the threats, basically, for talking about it are. Jernstadt would not say if he would ask CCP Gotion to lift the NDA to allow him to be transparent about the timing of the purchase and sale, and whether he was profiting from having inside knowledge of the project. Our money. NDAs. Green Township residents slam Gotion over environmental secrecy. This comes out of CapCon, or Michigan Capital Confidential. Leaders in Big Rapids get no answers from battery company on lack of environmental impact studies, and this came out May 13th, 2023. The legislature has dedicated $800 million in tax abatements and cash giveaways to Gotion, but local and state officials have yet to address area residents' concerns over the environmental impact of the company's proposed battery plant. Green Township officials have had to change the venue of what used to be sparsely attended board meetings in order to accommodate hundreds of constituents outraged by the imposition of a publicly subsidized factory owned by a People's Republic of China-based company. Residents have asked many times for an environmental impact study on the proposed Gotion facility, and I'm still waiting on the FOIA request that was $16,000. I don't think they're doing the entire $16,000, but I know that they're doing a big chunk of that. Center Square, I believe. So I'm going to keep a lookout on that and see what kind of information that FOIA request brings. The requests so far have been left unanswered, Carmen Bean, Big Rapids Township trustee, told Michigan Capital Confidential. No offense, but that's kind of a blurry picture. CapCon, you should have done a little better. Bean and other Big Rapids board members once considered the project for their township, which borders Green Township. They even approved a Renaissance zone and a joint meeting with Green Township. Bean now opposes the project, however. He cites environmental concerns have not been addressed and the battery company's links to the Chinese Communist Party. The Michigan Economic Development Corporation recently announced that Gotion is going to need to build its own sewage treatment infrastructure, which, by the way, will affect the price. I should have had that popped up. I think that residents in Green Charter Township are going to be charged like $20 to $25 to get that treatment infrastructure going. Hugh McDermott, a spokesman for the Michigan Department, for Eagle, said the department has not received permit applications and has limited information about the project. How is that possible? They're going to break ground in July. Therefore, we cannot provide comments on specific limits and requirements related to the Gotion project at this time, McDermott told CapCon via email. He said the project will be subject to Michigan's environmental and permitting programs. Oh, yeah, that's comforting. Gotion will be expected to comply with those requirements before, during, and after construction. That would include any wastewater generated by the proposed plant. Green Township leadership did not respond. I'm going to show 13 on your news, 13 on your side news really quick, and I'm going to try to find something that will basically tell you exactly what these regulations will do, which is nothing. They break businesses in Michigan over and over and over, break Eagle's regulations, and they pollute more than they're supposed to, and they don't care. They get little fines, they pay the fines, they keep doing what they're doing. It can't trust them to actually hold anybody accountable and stop them from polluting. Again, with no sound.
Forward with plans to build a $2.4 billion battery plant in Mecosta County. But hundreds who are against the project showed up at a meeting tonight. 13 on your side's Micah Cho has details on what happened in Green Charter Township tonight.
This is an absolute travesty, and I've had enough of it. So go get your Gotion battery plant, because I'm not staying here. I refuse to raise my kids downwind of that stupid plant.
More heated comments in Green Charter Township as Gotion Incorporated continues their plans to build a $2 billion battery plant in Mecosta County. Chuck Thelen, VP of North American Operations, is now focusing on answering questions and concerns about the project that has caused controversy in the community. He spoke at Tuesday night's Township Board meeting.
Not Chinese-owned or controlled by political party. Our stock is traded amongst multinational owners of that stock.
In April, the Michigan Senate Appropriations Committee approved over $170 million in incentives for Gotion's plant. The project also expects to hire more than 2,300 employees over the next 10 years. While there was a large number of people who spoke out against Gotion coming to town,
We do not want this, and we don't need this in our community, not this company, this nation.
one person spoke on opportunities the company may provide Mecosta County.
The opportunity that this community has to bring high-paying jobs and to bring some positive results to a county and an area that is poor by any standards in the state of Michigan is a tremendous boost.
Thelen told us he's starting to see more people coming to terms with the idea.
I see a shift.
Oh, there it is. Awesome. Ha. I love this woman right here. Good job. Good for you.
Silent majority speaking up. You've seen a lot of very vocal minorities speaking up, and now that this is the due diligence is almost over, and as I've talked to many other people, they're very excited about this project.
Such a liar. We are not the vocal minority, and that is what we need to prove. That's why we need to continue to tell everybody we know and to try to make it not partisan. This is not about Republican versus Democrat versus Libertarian versus Green Party. None of that. This concerns everybody in this area. This is about corrupt government. This is about central planning. I mean, Green Charter Township voted no on pot shops coming to the township. That tells you that they like their area as it is. And they were smart, by the way, because I can't believe how many of those have popped up everywhere. It's like there's no bookstore in Big Rapids, but there's like 5 shops. I understand the revenue it brings in. I get that. That's a whole nother story. My point being that Green Charter Township voted no on those shops, and yet you don't get a vote on something that's going to bring regional change. And we're giving millions, hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars. That's Democrat dollars, that's Republican dollars, that's Libertarian dollars. That's just Michigan taxpayers for something that they didn't get to vote for. It's all central planning. Like, we need to focus on this. It's corruption. It is not right. We should have a vote if we want it in our area. Let me know what you think. You think that we're just a vocal minority and that majority of people are silent about wanting it? Or do you think Chuck Thelen's a liar? It's time to call a spade a spade. He's not listening. He's condescending. I'm going to show you really quick this eagle thing and then try to find the Twitter where it shows him being condescending, saying, oh man, what exactly? I forgot. Let me get into this really quick and then I'll find that tweet for you. Eagle hits Stellantis with another air quality violation over Mac assembly plant. Another violation. This is just to prove that it doesn't matter if they're supposed to follow the regulations and then they don't. They don't stop. They just keep breaking the rules. Jeep maker Stellantis has received another air quality violation tied to operations at its Mac assembly plant in Detroit's east side, according to a notice posted by Michigan Department Eagle. Eagle's Air Quality Division earlier this week investigated a complaint of nuisance odors at the automaker's Detroit Assembly Complex, which includes the Mack plant, where workers assemble Jeep Grand Cherokees, according to the notice. The complex is at 4000 St. Jean. The visit resulted in Eagle determining the plant was emitting objectionable paint solvent odors of moderate to strong intensity, affecting nearby neighbors that are downwind of the manufacturing complex. In a letter to the plant manager, a state air quality official asked Stellantis to take action to correct the violation and provide a written response by June 1st. Bureaucracy. The whole time, these people are being poisoned. Their air is being poisoned, and we have to wait till June 1st for just a written response. And what are they going to do about it if they don't stop? Nothing. That's what's going to be done. Nothing. We have been working to complete the installation of the new regenerative thermal oxidizer and have it operational as quickly as possible to permanently resolve the odor issue, Stellantis spokesperson Jody Tinson said. Even as that work is ongoing, we're operating in odor controls which have reduced odors. We are investigating this occurrence and will respond to Eagle as required. The automaker has received repeated violation notices and fines from the state regarding air quality issues stemming from the plant's operations, and area residents have persistently complained of odors coming from the complex. Stellantis invested $1.6 billion into the expansion of the Mack plant to build Jeep Cherokees in 2021. Soon after, residents who lived near the plant began smelling paint and chemical odors and reported eyes-watering, respiratory issues, and nausea. The latest violation was reported. So this is just one example. You go to Kalamazoo, and there's example after example after example of violations happening, but nothing being done about it. Again, they'll take the fines. They're making enough money. They don't care. They don't care about our health. And so we have to be aware that if Gotion gets put in and they break the rules, what would they care? They're not held accountable. They're not shut down. Their operations aren't shut down. I'm sorry, I should have silenced my phone. I wanted to share this too. I forgot at the very beginning. This is tomorrow, May 17th. There is a meeting, Industry 4.0 Ann Arbor Roundtable, Information, Resources, Funding Opportunities, and Strategic Direction in the Digital Age. This is applicable to Gotion because they will have automation. They will be part of Industry 4.0. So if you're interested in this event, I'll have the link in the description down below, and you can check it out. That's tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And it's going to include topics on how Industry 4.0 is a competitive advantage, how to access resources for implementation, how to apply for Industry 4.0 technology grant, and how to access a $100,000 federal grant funding opportunity for mobility sector manufacturers. So that would include Gotion. Now I am going to bring us over to Twitter and see if I can find the Gotion. I just type in Gotion. We got a lot going on nowadays. I wish I knew. Let's see. We'll play this guy. Oh, you know, it's unfortunate that the sound on that video, because of the building, I understand the building was not good for sound quality, but I can't really hear what he's saying. Sorry, I should have had this pulled up. I think I did, and I accidentally. Profile, let's see. Here we go. Sorry, I figured it out. I got it. It is this one.
We're going to look at this intelligently and have a discourse as to putting this in. Is it going to work? Will the concept work? Will the project work? Will it be accepted by the community? At what point do you see that you can accept if the community does not want it and does not welcome it? Amen.
This response, man.
Thank you for that very well-worded question. I appreciate that. As far as the articles of incorporation, there are no articles that refer to CCP in the state of Michigan, in the state of Ohio, in the state of California, or anywhere in the United States. So that's already taken care of.
But there are
So on your second question, we live in a republic. This is not a democracy. We live in a republic.
The guy sit down. Shut up. Sheriff, if you help this gentleman to the door, please. I'm going, but you can shut the hell up. Have a nice day. Hey, if you're okay with this, then bring it up for a vote. Okay,
I don't know if you can hear, but they're saying bring it up to a vote. Bring it up for a vote. We want to vote.
Bring it up for a vote. How about let's answer the question, please? Ladies and gentlemen, how about if he answers the question, please? Good questions, let's listen.
Here's where it gets
So
condescending.
that's what I'm saying. I understand, yes, obviously, you got a lot of questions. This is a change, and change is scary. I get it.
Change is scary. Now, I wrote right here, it is so condescending. We are not afraid of change. We are not afraid of change. We don't want this change. We, the people, have done a risk-reward analysis and decided it isn't worth the risk. This should have been put to a vote. Why wasn't it? It's on our river, and we were promised pure Michigan. We're not afraid of change. Him saying that, it does piss me off a little bit. I try not to let, anger can be useful, but we need to be careful with it, obviously, because like Yoda said, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to the dark side. He didn't say it like that, but basically. So him, again, I'm going to just rewind it.
Yes, obviously, you got a lot of questions. This is a change, and change is scary. I get it. It's a big change. It's a big change. It's 2,000 people getting a different job, different location, different technology, and buildings.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, again, it's not about the change. It's about we don't want it. We are intelligent enough to make this choice. We are intelligent enough to do a risk-reward analysis. So don't act like we're a bunch of dumb rednecks that don't know how good this is going to be for our area, okay? Lastly, I want to show this video with you, Defy Tyrants, over at Rumble. Can't be on YouTube because it's censored. This is titled, Where Are the Men? Now, in the videos, you see that we're lucky, and we do have a lot of men that are showing up and using their voice and fighting back against central planning, okay? But in a lot of cases, in a lot of areas, you don't see a lot of men. And so this video is just a quick 5-minute video asking the question and answering it.
Our government has become more lawless. A popular question has become, where are the men? People are asking this question because most of those showing up at public hearings to confront the tyranny are women. Hence the question, where are the men? First off, understand that men have been under attack by design of the government for over 50 years here in America. A short perusal of our laws, policies, and court opinions demonstrate that. Entertainment news media reveal that. We live in a matriarchal hell. And worse yet, the vast majority of churchmen have joined the state and the men haters in effeminizing men via their miminy-piminy pulpits. The spirituality of churchmen now is measured by how soft and ladylike they are. Yet, the question remains legitimate. Where are the men? And more pointedly, Where are the men who fear God and have love and fealty to Christ? The men who cannot live in peaceful coexistence with the idols and evils and tyrants who trample the law and word of God. Where are they? The book of Acts reveals a Christianity wholly opposite of the current form of Christianity. In Acts 17, for example, there is a conflict between the people of Thessalonica and the Christians. The Jews and the evil men gathered there against Paul and Silas and the Christians, accused the Christians to the civil authorities, stating, quote, "These who have turned the world upside down have come here too, and these are all acting contrary to the decrees of Caesar, saying there is another king, Jesus." End of quote. This is classic Christianity in action. True Christianity confronts the false religions and paganism of the cultures, whether it's with the Jews and evil men here in chapter 17, or the followers of Diana in chapter 19, or the streets of post-Christian America in our day. True Christianity comes into conflict with the religion and idols of cultures. True Christianity confronts the idols and evils and tyrants of nations. These who have turned the world upside down. This means those who are declaring something contrary to what we have known. To them, this was an attack upon their filthy way of life, a possible end to their status quo. They have turned the world upside down. They are acting contrary to Caesar's decrees. They are declaring another king's rule. And this brings a conflict. And we have to ask, where are these kind of men in our day? The world is screaming for these kind of men. Men who love God, who have fealty to Christ, men who will speak, men who will act. But most churchmen and Christian men in our day want nothing to do with conflict. They do not want to confront the idols and evil and tyrants of their day. They teach that we should conform to the evil edicts of Caesar, that there should never be a conflict, and if there is, those Christians causing it are bad Christians, that we are always to obey the state, that conflict is bad, confrontation should be avoided, accommodation and appeasement should be sought. The effeminate who fill America's pulpits in our days sit in their pious rot, swallowing camels and straining at gnats, and it is grievous to the hearts of men. And so I ask again, where are these men? We must shake ourselves, brothers. Where are these men? We must be those men. We must be those men in our day. We must shake ourselves free, brothers, from American Christianity. It is nothing more than a cheap whore which will sell itself for a morsel, consumed with its narcissism and its consumerism and its pedestalism. Brethren, we must be those kind of men. We need a move of the Holy Spirit in our lives, brothers. Let us speak. Let us act. Let us confront. Let us not flee from the conflict, but rather let our hearts burn within us when we see the law and word of God being impugned by men and the governments of men. And may we confront it. Let us be those men. Thank you for taking time to listen to this important message. Please click on the link.
Alright, so I will share this channel down below. This is, by the way, Matthew Truella, who I went and saw last Tuesday, and is the reason why I missed the Green Charter Township meeting, which I really didn't want to miss, and I'm sorry that I did, but his speech was excellent, and it gave me motivation, renewed motivation. And so, again, I'm reading this. I will share the information with you once I disseminate for myself. But I highly recommend you check it out. And, you know, you don't have to be a Christian, obviously, to fight tyranny. But we do need to understand that if our rights don't come from a being outside of man, okay, God, from our Creator, if they don't come from that, then that means that man gave us our rights and they can take them away, and I refuse to accept that. So, to me, logic dictates that God gave us our rights, and man cannot take them away. If they do, they are in the wrong. And man cannot create the truth. The truth already exists, and that truth was given to us just like our rights by God, because if we as men and women think that we can make up the truth, that whatever we say is the truth, well then you have what we have today, which is people saying, women saying that they are men and men saying they are women, even though that's not the truth. So this, I hope, will just motivate you. You don't have to be a Christian. You can be Buddhist or what have you. Just know that we have a creator outside of ourselves that we need to aspire to, that we need to hold ourselves accountable to, because otherwise we have chaos. And I think that is our main problem today, is that in the hearts and minds of man, as Nietzsche said, the death of God has taken place. And so we don't have direction. And as you can see, again, it's chaos. So I called myself an atheist for just under 10 years, and I came to it logically. I have not been to church since I was a teenager, trying to figure out what church I might want to go to. And so this is not about religion, but it's about the spirit. It's about the root of all of this is that we don't have proper direction. So I'm not going to keep going on and on. I think you get my point. We need to defy tyranny, okay? We need to fight tyranny and not be apathetic. So we must not give up. It is not over till it's over. We will stop Gotion. I have full faith we will. So send out flyers, keep talking to your neighbors, tell everybody you know what's going on here, because this started as a grassroots movement and the Republicans came to help. It is not a Republican movement. It is not a Democrat movement. It's not a Green Party movement. It's not any of that. It is a grassroots local movement. We, the people, don't want this plant, and we need to tell everybody we know. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get that Newaygo recycling plant video out as soon as possible so that you have all the information. But there's some more good news. It is not going to be pyrolysis, so Newaygo, downtown Newaygo will stay quaint and cute and smell good. Thank you guys again for watching. Let me know what you think.